Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Aurora. I'm Aurora, and I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because what I'm about to share with you will completely transform the way you sound when speaking English. You know, just yesterday I received a message from Maria, one of our viewers from Brazil, and she said something that broke my heart and excited me at the same time. She wrote, "Aurora, I've been studying English for 5 years. I can read perfectly, I understand movies, I can write emails, but when I open my mouth to speak, people immediately know I'm not a native speaker. I feel so frustrated because I sound like a textbook, not like a real person." Does this sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, you're definitely not alone. In fact, 90% of English learners face this exact same challenge. They know the grammar, they have the vocabulary, but they're missing something crucial, those secret patterns that native speakers use naturally every single day. But here's the exciting news. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact techniques and phrases that will make you sound like you've been speaking English your entire life. These aren't complicated grammar rules or fancy vocabulary words that you'll never use. These are real, authentic patterns that native speakers use unconsciously, and by the end of this video, you'll be using them too. I've spent over 10 years teaching English to thousands of students from around the world, and I've discovered something fascinating. The difference between someone who sounds like a textbook and someone who sounds native isn't about perfection. It's about knowing these insider secrets that most English teachers never talk about. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into the first game-changing technique that will immediately upgrade your English speaking skills. The power of contractions, your gateway to natural speech. Let me start with a story that perfectly illustrates this point. Last month, I was at a coffee shop here in New York, and I overheard two conversations happening at the same time. At one table, there was David, an English learner from Germany, talking to his American friend. At another table, there were two New Yorkers chatting about their weekend plans. David was saying things like, "I do not think that it is going to rain today. We should not worry about bringing umbrellas. I cannot believe how beautiful the weather has been this week." Meanwhile, the New Yorkers were saying, "I don't think it's gonna rain today. We shouldn't worry about umbrellas. I can't believe how gorgeous it's been this week." Do you hear the difference? David's English was grammatically perfect, but it sounded formal and robotic. The native speakers were using contractions naturally, and their speech flowed like music. Here's your first native secret. Real English speakers contract everything they possibly can. Not sometimes, not occasionally, almost always. When you say, "I do not know," you immediately sound like you learned English from a textbook. But when you say, "I don't know," you sound natural and conversational. Let me give you the most essential contractions that you must start using today. Instead of "I am going," say "I'm going." Instead of "You are right," say "You're right." Instead of "He is working," say "He's working." Instead of "We are ready," say "We're ready." Instead of "They are coming," say "They're coming." But here's where it gets really interesting. Native speakers use contractions that most English learners never learn in school. Going to becomes gonna. I'm gonna call you later. Want to becomes wanna. Do you wanna grab lunch? Have to becomes gotta. I gotta finish this project. Out of becomes oughta. We're outta milk. Kind of becomes kinda. I'm kinda tired today. Sort of becomes sorta. It's sorta complicated. Now I can almost hear some of you thinking, "But Aurora, isn't this too informal? Won't people think I'm being too casual?" Here's the truth that might surprise you. These contractions are used by native speakers in business meetings, in professional conversations, even in academic settings. They're not slang, they're natural English. Filler words, the secret to buying time like a native asterisk. Now, let's talk about something that most English teachers tell you to avoid, but that I'm going to tell you to embrace: filler words. You've probably been taught that filler words are bad, that they make you sound unprofessional or uncertain. But here's what nobody tells you: native speakers use filler words constantly, and when used correctly, they actually make you sound more natural and fluent. Let me tell you about James, a student of mine from Japan. James had perfect grammar and excellent pronunciation, but his speech sounded mechanical because he would pause in complete silence whenever he needed to think. Native speakers don't do this. They use specific sounds and words to fill those thinking spaces naturally. Here are the filler words that will make you sound incredibly natural. And these are the most basic fillers. I think we should leave around 6. Like, this is probably the most versatile filler in modern English. It was like the most amazing movie I've ever seen. She was like, really excited about the news. You know, this creates connection with your listener. It's been, a really challenging year for everyone. I mean, this helps you clarify or rephrase your thoughts. The weather's been terrible. I mean, it's been raining for 3 weeks straight. Actually, this is perfect for introducing new information or correcting yourself. I thought the meeting was at 3, but actually it's at 4. So, this helps you transition between ideas. So, I was talking to Sarah yesterday, and she mentioned something interesting. Well, this gives you time to think before responding. Well, I think we have a few options here. But here's the crucial part. The key is not to overuse these fillers. Native speakers use them strategically, not in every sentence. Practice incorporating 1 or 2 fillers naturally into your speech, and you'll immediately sound more conversational. The art of weak forms: why native speakers sound so fast. Here's something that absolutely blew my mind when I first discovered it, and I know it's going to change everything for you too. Native speakers don't actually speak faster than English learners. They speak differently. They use something called weak forms, which are shortened, reduced versions of common words. Let me explain this with a real example. When native speakers say the sentence, "I have to go to the store," it doesn't sound like, "I have to go to the store," with every word pronounced clearly and strongly. Instead, it sounds more like, "I have to go to the store," with certain words becoming much weaker and shorter. Here are the most important weak forms that you need to master. Too often sounds like ta. I need ta go instead of I need to go. For often sounds like fur. This is for you instead of this is for you. And often sounds like n. Come and get it instead of come and get it. Of often sounds like a cup of coffee instead of a cup of coffee. Can often sounds like seen. I seen help you instead of I can help you. The articles n, and the are almost always weak. The sounds more like th in most cases, and sounds more like This is why native speakers seem to speak so quickly. They're not saying more words per minute. They're just reducing the unimportant words so that the important words stand out more clearly. Phrasal verbs, the heart of native English. Now we're getting to something really exciting: phrasal verbs. If you want to sound like a native speaker, you absolutely must master these. Phrasal verbs are combinations of verbs with prepositions or adverbs that create completely new meanings. They're everywhere in native English, and here's the thing: native speakers prefer them over their more formal equivalents almost every time. For example, instead of saying, "I discovered something interesting," a native speaker would say, "I came across something interesting." Instead of "Please examine this document," they'd say, "Please look over this document." Let me share some of the most essential phrasal verbs that you'll hear in everyday conversation. Pick up has so many meanings. Can you pick up some milk? By, "I'll pick you up at 7, collect by car," she's picking up Spanish quickly, learning. Get up means to wake up and rise from bed. I get up at 6 every morning. Show up means to arrive. He didn't show up to the meeting. Turn up can mean to arrive. She turned up unexpectedly, or to increase volume. Turn up the music. Bring up means to mention a topic. Don't bring up politics at dinner. Come up with means to think of an idea. Can you come up with a solution? Run into means to meet someone unexpectedly. I ran into my old teacher yesterday. Put off means to postpone. We had to put off the meeting until next week. Go through means to experience something difficult. She's going through a tough time. Look forward to means to anticipate with pleasure. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Here's a native speaker secret. Phrasal verbs are often more emotional and personal than their formal equivalents. My relationship ended sounds clinical, but my relationship broke up sounds more natural and human. The magic of linking, making your speech flow. One of the biggest secrets to sounding native is something called linking. This is when native speakers connect words together so smoothly that they sound like one flowing stream rather than individual, separate words. Let me give you a perfect example. The phrase, turn it off, doesn't sound like three separate words to a native speaker. It sounds like turn it off, all linked together smoothly. Here are the main types of linking you need to know. Consonant to vowel linking. When a word ends with a consonant sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound, they link together. An apple sounds like an apple. Turn it on sounds like Turnitin. Vowel to vowel linking. When two vowel sounds come together, native speakers insert a small W or Y sound. Go out sounds like go out. See everything sounds like see everything. Same sound linking. When the same consonant sound ends one word and begins the next, they blend into one longer sound. Some money sounds like somony. Big game sounds like big game. The key is to practice these links slowly at first, then gradually speed up until it feels natural. Don't worry about perfection. Even getting 50% of these links right will dramatically improve how natural you sound. Stress and rhythm, the music of English. English has a very specific rhythm that native speakers follow automatically, but that English learners often miss completely. English is what we call a stress-timed language, which means that stressed syllables occur at regular intervals, and unstressed syllables are squeezed in between. Think of it like music. In a song, the beat happens at regular intervals, and the other notes fit around that beat. In English, the stressed syllables are like the beat, and the unstressed syllables are like the other notes. Let me demonstrate with the sentence. I went to the store to buy some bread. The capitalized words are stressed and occur at roughly equal time intervals. The small words in between, to, the, some, are quick and weak. This is completely different from languages like Spanish or French, where each syllable gets roughly equal time. If you apply that pattern to English, you'll sound mechanical and robotic. Here's how to practice this. Take any English sentence and identify the content words, the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These are usually stressed. The function words, articles, prepositions, pronouns, auxiliary verbs are usually unstressed. For example, the teacher gave the SD Judensadai F. Fickelt assignment. Practice saying sentences with this rhythm, making the stressed syllables longer and stronger, and the unstressed syllables quicker and weaker. Essential native expressions for daily situations. Now let's get into some specific phrases that native speakers use constantly, but that you probably won't find in most English textbooks. These are the expressions that will make you sound like you belong. When someone asks how you are, instead of always saying, I'm fine, thank you, try these native responses. Not too bad, thanks. Can't complain. Living the dream. This is often said sarcastically when things aren't going perfectly. Same old, same old. Hanging in there. When you want to express agreement, instead of just I agree, try. Absolutely. You got that right. Tell me about it. You can say that again. I couldn't agree more. When something is difficult, instead of it's difficult, natives say, it's a pain in the neck. It's driving me crazy. It's a real headache. It's no joke. When you don't understand something completely, instead of I don't understand, try. I'm not following you. You lost me there. That went over my head. I'm drawing a blank. Real conversation techniques. Let me share with you some conversation techniques that will make your English sound incredibly natural and engaging. First, learn to use tag questions naturally. These are little questions added to the end of statements that invite agreement or confirmation. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? You're coming to the party, aren't you? She didn't call you back, did she? Second, master the art of showing interest with response tokens. These are short words or phrases that show you're listening and engaged. Really? No way. That's crazy. Are you serious? You're kidding me. Third, learn to express probability and possibility like a native. Instead of maybe it will rain, say it might rain or it could rain. Instead of I think he is probably coming, say he's probably coming or he'll most likely come. The power of idiomatic expressions. Idioms are phrases whose meaning can't be understood from the individual words. They're absolutely essential for sounding native, and they're used constantly in everyday conversation. Here are some essential idioms with practical examples. Break the ice means to start a conversation or make people feel comfortable. I told a joke to break the ice at the beginning of my presentation. Hit the nail on the head means to be exactly right. When you said the project needed more planning, you really hit the nail on the head. Spill the beans means to reveal a secret. Come on, spill the beans. What did he say about me? Under the weather means feeling sick. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I might leave work early. Break a leg means good luck, especially before a performance. You have your job interview today. Break a leg. It's raining cats and dogs means it's raining very heavily. We can't go to the park now. It's raining cats and dogs out there. Advanced native techniques, showing emotion and attitude. One thing that makes native speakers sound so natural is how they show their emotions and attitudes through their language choices. Let me teach you some advanced techniques. When you want to show frustration, natives often use these patterns. I can't seem to get this computer to work properly. I keep forgetting to call him back. Why does this always happen to me? When you want to show excitement or surprise. I can't believe how good this pizza is. Would you believe I ran into Sarah at the airport? You should have seen the look on his face. When you want to downplay something, make it seem less important. It's no big deal. It's not that bad. It's nothing special. Don't worry about it. When you want to emphasize something. I mean it. I really think you should apply for that job. I mean it. I'm telling you, this restaurant has the best food in the city. Trust me, you don't want to miss this movie. Putting it all together, your native speaker action plan. Now, I want to give you a specific action plan to implement everything we've covered today. Don't try to master everything at once. That's overwhelming and counterproductive. Instead, focus on one area at a time. Week 1, focus entirely on contractions. Every time you speak English, force yourself to use contractions instead of full forms. I don't know instead of I do not know. She's coming instead of she is coming. Make this automatic. Week 2, add inappropriate filler words. Practice using like You know, and I mean naturally in your speech. Record yourself having conversations and listen back to hear how it sounds. Week 3, work on linking words together. Practice the phrases we discussed until they flow smoothly. Start with simple phrases like turn it on, pick it up, and come and get it. Week 4, focus on stress and rhythm. Practice identifying the stressed words in sentences and making them stronger while making the unstressed words weaker and quicker. Continue practicing these fundamentals while gradually adding in phrasal verbs, idioms, and native expressions. The key is consistent practice, not perfection. Your speaking breakthrough starts now. Before we wrap up, I want to address something important. You might be thinking, Aurora, this sounds great, but what if I make mistakes? What if people judge me for not speaking perfectly? Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They use incorrect grammar, they stumble over words, they forget what they were saying mid-sentence. The difference is, they don't stop communicating. They keep going, they self-correct naturally, and they focus on getting their message across rather than being grammatically perfect. I remember working with Alina, a student from Italy who was terrified of speaking English because she wanted everything to be perfect. One day, I challenged her to have a 5-minute conversation using everything we'd been practicing, but with one rule. She wasn't allowed to correct herself or apologize for any mistakes. That conversation changed everything for her. She used contractions naturally, she linked her words together, she used filler words when she needed time to think, and she sounded absolutely fantastic. Yes, she made some grammatical errors, but she sounded like a real person having a real conversation, not like a textbook. The secret that transformed Alina's English, and that will transform yours, is this. Native-like fluency isn't about elimination of all errors. It's about natural rhythm, authentic expressions, and confident communication. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to sound native. It just has to be natural, confident, and authentic. Every technique I've shared with you today will help you achieve that. Remember, every native English speaker you admire started as a beginner once. The difference between people who eventually sound native and people who remain stuck sounding like textbooks is simply this: the willingness to experiment, to make mistakes, and to keep practicing these natural patterns until they become automatic. You have everything you need right now to start sounding more native today. You don't need more grammar books, you don't need more vocabulary lists, and you definitely don't need to wait until you're ready. You're ready right now. Start with contractions today. Use them in every conversation you have. Tomorrow, add in some natural filler words. Next week, start linking your words together. In 1 month, you'll be amazed at how different you sound. Your journey to native-like English starts with your very next conversation. I believe in you, I'm cheering for you, and I can't wait to hear about your progress. Thank you so much for spending these 20 minutes with me today. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to English with Aurora, and let me know in the comments which technique you're most excited to try first. Remember, you're not just learning English, you're becoming the confident, natural English speaker you've always wanted to be. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.